Okay, everyone, welcome to the Boopsie for Libraries webinar. We're here to discuss a special offer that we have out right now with NELLCO, as well as share just a little bit about what our product can do for your library. So essentially, we're creating a library branded app for your library. My name is Megan Fazzini, and I'm the Vice President of Sales here at Boopsie. I do have a very special interest in law libraries, being a law school graduate myself and a pretty heavy researcher. So just I see our apps as such a valuable tool for students and engaging with their campus law libraries. And so I do see that we have a couple of people from NELLCO on the line. So I don't know, Tracy and Teresa, if you wanted to both say hello as well.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, perfect. So I just want to confirm that everyone can see my screen okay. So if you could just chat into the chat box and let me know that you can see my screen, that would be great. Unfortunately, in the full presentation mode, the GoToMeeting is kind of kicking or stopping the screen share from happening. So I want to make sure that you can see it. So it'll be a slightly funky display, but I'll definitely distribute the whole deck right after the presentation. So can everyone hear me and see my screen okay? If you can just chat in, you'll see the chat box on the GoTo webinar control panel. Just go ahead and chat in there and say yes, no. Great. Great. Well, I'll go ahead and just jump into the presentation then. So on our agenda today, we're just going to do a company and product introduction. So it's going to be about Boopsie, and we're exclusively in the library app space, and then just a brief intro about our product. I'll go over the mobile technology landscape, kind of like why should everyone care about an app? Like, why is this important? How does it fit into my library's overall mobile strategy, and what are the implications of having an app. I'll jump into a product demonstration as well, and then I'll cover the NELLCO offer and answer any questions that you all may have. Feel free to chat in questions throughout the course of the presentation. You'll see that there's a question box here, and I do see everyone can see and hear me. So thanks so much for chatting in to let me know. That's awesome. So feel free to just chat in questions throughout the course of the webinar. I will field them in real time, so I won't leave you hanging with any questions that may be on your mind. So here's just a little bit of a company and product introduction. So Boopsie is the industry leader in providing mobile apps for libraries. We have over 3 million downloads across the Boopsie platform and nearly 500,000 monthly unique users. So you can imagine we're pretty big in the public library space. We do, most of those numbers are coming from the public library space, so some really large communities that we're supporting like Los Angeles, DC public libraries, for example. And we aim to provide just a really user-rich experience by partnering with a lot of industry leaders in providing content. So we make that content more accessible via the app. And essentially, we're aggregating all of your library services and functions into a single mobile app. So this is going to be from, your research guides. So I know LibGuides are really popular, to your catalog. So any ILS that you may be using, your chat service. So not it's basically all of those great things that your library is providing, and we're open to any other ideas that you have just to further engage your students. I know it's increasingly important to reach students on their mobile devices. They're on those smartphones and tablets all the time, and it's almost like, okay, well, how can my library be there, but also how can it be cost effective and not scary? Because it's developing an app is not for the faint of heart, right? It's a pretty large undertaking, and we do support libraries in a lot of different markets, from academic to corporate, law firms, medical libraries. So really, we're helping deliver content, making it more accessible to all different types of libraries. And we're doing some really exciting projects for some really large companies. For example, we're helping one of the top 5 biggest oil companies in the world, actually, with their library apps. They can help their researchers out in the field quickly discover and digest content. And then in the law firm space, we have this really great use case of attorneys on the go, so quickly pulling cases and laws and regulations. So that's a really great use case as well. I'd love to share that with you. But we're seeing just apps booming, and we partner with libraries so that they can quickly deliver this service to their researchers and they don't have to worry about it. And just a quick visual on the Boopsie team. We do have 2 offices, one in Silicon Valley, then the other in San Diego. We have kind of our engineering hub, and our team has really expanded since even taking these pictures, but we're a pretty fun team, pretty cool to work with. And we just all really love what we're doing. I think it's very important. So I'm really curious in the audience here. I know I've kept up with some of the the latest studies on what types of mobile devices attorneys are using and students, and we know that Apple devices are really taking off in the legal sphere, of course, everywhere, but in particular, lawyers really have a strong preference for iPhones and iPads. But what types of devices do you all use? If you just want to chat that in really quickly. Awesome. So we have some Apple device users, Android, at least one Windows user here, iPhone 6 Plus. Awesome. Samsung tablets, Droid, great. So we're kind of across the spectrum here, really good balance of all these different types of devices. And Boopsie does support all of these different devices, so all of the associated tablets and smartphones, just to ensure that your student can choose whatever type of device that they want, and your library app is still can still be downloaded onto that device. We want to make sure that we're not excluding anyone, any of your students or your community. And now we're going to just jump into some quick stats here. We are seeing that 90% of mobile device users' time is spent in apps. So that's a native app that's downloaded off of the major app stores like Apple and Android. So basically, it's like that icon on your home screen. And as opposed to time spent in a mobile website, which is viewed through a web browser like Safari or Chrome. And the big question is, well, why? So this is a really interesting question that's posed, and especially when I pose this question to pretty heavy researchers, because I do find that more sophisticated researchers, such as librarians, of course, will spend a little bit more time in a mobile website. So it's kind of sometimes a disconnect between kind of the really heavy, sophisticated researcher versus kind of the students and how they're actually digesting content. So this is a really interesting stat. I do have a really nice video that I can share with you all that does compare the differences between the two and the experiences. But just wanted to share that stat with you, and kind of having this native mobile app usage is on the rise. App downloads are, in the billions and just steeply increasing every year, that trend. And people are spending, again, this is an interesting stat that came out as well. So people are spending most of their internet time on mobile devices. So actually in 2015, 51% of the total time spent per adult user per day with digital media was spent on mobile devices. So the majority of time spent digesting information, digesting digital media information was spent on mobile devices, as opposed to a desktop or laptop or any other connected devices. So this is a really cool graph, and you can see just how that's dramatically changed since 2008 in this graph. And then we have some really cool digital trends in higher ed. We are seeing that 81% of students are using mobile devices to study. That's up 40% since 2013. And I would venture, and this is across higher ed generally, I would venture to say this number is even higher in in law students. So we're talking about more sophisticated researchers, grad students, and they're even more so on the go, right? In between externships, internships, they're leaders on campus, they're running organizations, volunteering. So really, they need to be able to access information quickly and also get onboarded to, legal research quickly. Doing legal research is not easy. So the more that they can engage with your library, the more apt you are to retain them, for example, because they won't be as frustrated with research. I remember my first year of law school even having some people drop out. They just couldn't figure it out. It was too frustrating. So imagine having an onboarding tool like this that could really streamline that process and get students up and running with research even more quickly, or at least be able to, or not be afraid to connect with their librarians. And also, what's really important when we're talking about law schools, we're thinking, wow, the majority of law students are going to become attorneys. That's just true. And of course, we'll have a percentage going into academia, and those numbers vary, but the majority of students are going to go on to practice law. And we're seeing that 77% of lawyers report personally using smartphones for law-related tasks. That's up from 71% in 2011. And this was the 2014 kind of ABA legal tech study that was put out. I know they do it annually. And of course, that number is higher in solo practices. So depending on where your students are, if they're going into solo practice or into a firm, we're still seeing that number right around 80% and just increasing every year. And so the question becomes, are apps a trend? When we look at monthly usage and just some interesting differences here between men and women, are they a trend? Are they here to stay? And of course, we firmly believe apps are a reality. They're here to stay, and it's even how we're digesting entertainment now. Think about if you have an Apple TV. I just recently got an Apple TV, and I just don't know how I can watch TV any other way now. I mean, it's just changing my world. So as apps are here to stay, should we be talking about them as a trend? Of course, different devices will take off, maybe wearables, maybe something like Google Glass will come back. So who knows kind of what the future is of kind of wearable tech or mobile devices and what shape or form they'll come in. But the reality is we're simplifying kind of access to information. We're making it easier to digest and discover. And when we do put some of these great resources into a library app, we are seeing resource usage increase by at least 35%. So it's a really dramatic increase. And we are seeing, this is anecdotally from our customers, we're seeing overall circulation increase by 10% plus. So that's even of your print materials. So really interesting stat there. And mostly we're helping students get into the environment that they need to be in. And why are user trends important? So here you decide whether you want to ride the wave or battle Mother Nature, right? So this is the direction students are heading. It's how they want access to information. On the flip side, as a law school, you want to make sure that you are producing really competent researchers that know what they're doing. So I can understand maybe some of the hesitation towards going mobile, but it is the reality. So it's a question of how can this type of tool be useful at your institution and help students engage with their library, so they're not going off and finding, doing research on Google, let's say, and not finding authoritative sources. They're kind of going into some who knows where blog to find their information, and they likely don't know all of the things that your library pays for, all of those great resources. And these are just some questions for you all, which are, is it important to have a scalable strategy for student outreach, be easy to implement and maintain? Do you want to increase usage of all these expensive subscriptions? I've heard some of the numbers related to LexisNexis and Westlaw Next subscriptions, and I mean, it's pretty wild how much these things cost. So do you want to increase usage of these expensive subscriptions and maybe some of the other more minor subscriptions that are also very important, like EBSCO, for example? And for some of these pieces of content, we do have a fully embedded reader. Do you want to keep operating costs down? So do you need to hire like 5 people to support your app, or do you want it to be something that you can kind of set up and not ignore, but just maintain and have someone there to support you with that? Do you want to protect your library from how quickly technologies change? I did mention wearables, so your smartwatches. What happens when a new technology comes out and your library wants to be on that device? It's really important to have a partner that is looking into the future and that can support you no matter what happens. And this is important to provide a solution to your students on their mobile devices and to use and build your library's brand. So having this tool, having students be aware of the library, is extremely important. I will say all of my librarians knew me by name. I did a lot of research in law school. I will say that was the exception, at least while I was there. And we don't want students to view the library as just a place to charge their phones. Or just to sign up for classes, or whatever they may be doing there, or they're in there because their law professor is making them go there for their project. We want students to just really be engaged with the library because it will lead to higher likelihood of academic success. And here are some visuals, just some examples of some of the NELLCO member libraries that we've helped with an app. So we have New York Law School Mendick Library, the University of Colorado School of Law, as well as the University of Georgia School of Law. So you can actually go to any of the major app stores and search for these libraries, and you can download these apps onto your mobile devices. And again, I will be sending out this PowerPoint, so no worries about that if you're not catching everything. And here are some of our app features. Our apps are completely library branded, so they are a direct reflection of your library itself. We have great catalog search, so full ILS integration, which includes, of course, to My Account. So if you allow students to place holds on titles, they can do that via the app. They can view any fines or fees that they may have, and any holds that they have placed on items. Again, if your library allows for holds. I know that many law schools don't. We can incorporate your locations and hours, and we can give you admin access to the hours docs. You can update those hours in real time, or if you have a feed, we can include those within the app. All of your great research guides. So I know a lot of law libraries spend tons of time curating these beautiful LibGuides, and we want to make sure that we're highlighting those really great resources. Course reserves, other digital resource integration, calendar, social media, chat with a librarian, and other great features. So I was just highlighting some of the features here that we can include. And so now I'll jump into a quick product demonstration. Again, you can download all of these apps onto your mobile devices that I mentioned earlier. So that's New York Law School, University of Colorado School of Law, as well as the University of Georgia School of Law. So right now I'm just going to prep for just a quick live presentation, live demonstration. And it's a great time to chat in questions if you have them, because I can answer them while I'm pulling up the demo. So look forward to any questions that you may have. And just give me about 1 minute, hopefully 30 seconds. Great, and it looks like we have a question about if anyone is using this for a study room reservations. So the answer is yes. In our law school apps specifically, I'll need to review them. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know that we have, I think the University of Auckland definitely has that. So I'll link up some examples for you, but we definitely do have it incorporated in some of our apps. And we have a question about the advantages of Boopsie over an ILS's proprietary mobile app. And I think I'll just, in a nutshell, well, there's tons of advantages, but one of the major advantages is Boopsie is not ILS specific. So we are a vendor neutral platform. We are not invested in one particular ILS or another, one particular product or another. And so when students download your app, they don't have to worry about you doing an ILS migration or anything like that, and you don't have to worry about what will happen if you do decide to change ILSs, because we can do just a seamless swap. Now, if you're using an ILS specific solution, as soon as you no longer have that ILS, the app, the app users are completely lost of that app. Another thing is that, library apps are our only business. This is what we do 100% of the time. All of our R&D efforts go into this. ILSs, it is not a primary product for them. So it's definitely an upgrade tool. I'll just put that out there, as well as just something that they can, offer to kind of keep you paying up, I think, the ton of money that the ILSs cost. So it's more of just like an added perk, certainly not core business for them. Also, we do partner with a ton of content providers to be able to provide this really great user experience and other unique features to the app, such as push notifications that are coming soon. But also, we have a LexisNexis integration right now in the law firm space that will be launching out into the law school space soon. So there's just a lot of really awesome things that we're doing above and beyond just a catalog integration. And also our product is completely, all of our product development is completely customer driven. So any new features that we want to add, again, this is just our core business. And I think that's very, very important when you're looking at support for an app and keeping up with all of the operating system updates and all of that maintenance that comes with an app. Great question. And we do handle ordering of books on an interlibrary loan. And Tracy says we need Jeopardy music. And I'll answer one last question before I pull up this live demo. The last question is, can I access Boopsie through an HTML interface so that students can use it from a laptop? So we do have a web view version of the app. There are certainly some features that aren't available in that version that are, that use something like the device, like scanning technology, things like that. So that will need to be, it's kind of specific to mobile devices. But we are building for native apps in the native environment, and that's really important because it allows us to optimize all of that specific mobile device's features and display options. So it really is optimized for each of the different devices. It's not kind of a one-size-fits-all solution, but we can talk through that in the specifics of why you would want that and what you'd kind of be looking for there. So just give me one more minute, and I'm going to take a pause on questions. Otherwise, we'll never get into this product demonstration. So just give me 1 minute here. Perfect. Can everyone see this screen okay? So this is the New York Law School Mendic Library app. So New York Law School was one of our first law school customers. Last year we did have Grace Lee come and speak at a webinar, so I'd love to share just some insights that she had there. But they've had such great success with this app over the years, and we've done a lot with their app. It's definitely changed, in style, so. Just kind of jumping into kind of the search the catalog. So this is, again, the ILS integration. So, of course, I'll just run a search for, like, law. Should have done torts now that I realize it. We'll pull up this first item. We see that it's in the stacks. It's not checked out. It's in the holdings. We have a nice little visual here of the title. And kind of go back within the app. So just wanted to show you what that item detail page looks like. I will jump into the My Account. We're going to keep this demo short. And again, you can download all of these apps onto your mobile device. I did have the credentials saved within the app. We have no items checked out, no requests. We have a balance of 0, so we are very good students. And you can see you can sign out of your account as well. And I'll just go ahead and do that so you can see what that looks like. And then we'll go back into the My Account Summary just so that you can see what those credentials look like when they're auto-saved. So again, just streamlining access to the account, checking out titles, all of that good stuff. And then we'll go back home within the app. We do have course reserves. This is really popular, especially in law schools. So we can search by course, or we can search by professor as well. We'll go ahead and search by professor. So we have a federal income tax. Sounds like a course I would not have liked, but I imagine it is for someone. And you can see we have the titles, not checked out. So it's really important for students to know. And the course reserves really popular, especially around finals time, midterms and finals for sure. And going back into the home screen, we do have some really great research tools. So we have our research guides, which are our LIP guides, kind of all listed out here. So we'll go ahead and open this one up. And SpringShare is one of our partners. And this will just take a second. So depending on whether you're on version 1 or version 2, this display will just be a little bit different. It's taking a second to open up. Let me try something else here. We may be changing the links. Okay, here we go. So here, this looks still like, I don't know if Grace did switch over to version 2 yet, but we'll want to I'll need to take a note to take a look at that. Our call number locations, CERC policies, library information and contacts. So again, we can give you admin access to update your hours because all sorts of different schedules come up. I know maybe you're open till 2 a.m., 24 hours around finals time. You can go ahead and update those hours. You can also just give us a static schedule, and then we can update kind of the special hours for you. Then we have our email, so click to send an email to the reference desk. So it's really great. It's going to open up your mail client. And same for the text or the call, it's going to automatically launch those within the mobile device itself. And so when we're talking about a native app build versus kind of an HTML wrapper, something that can be accessed from a website, some of those functions that you just saw are fully related to the mobile device functionality itself. So launching the mail client, launching the phone, those are really nice pieces of functionality that just do drive student engagement. And then we have, of course, Mendic Matters. So we have a newsfeed here, and we have social media. So Facebook, whatever you have, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, we go ahead and fold it within the app. And we'll go back home within the app as well. So I think that's what I wanted to cover. I wanted to do just a quick product overview, and knowing that I'm happy to speak with each of you one-on-one just to talk about your library's resources and showcase apps that are really relevant to what you'd be wanting to include, such as room reservations, things like that. I'm happy to pull up some specific demonstrations that really match what you'd be looking for. Just give me one more second. I'm going to jump back into the PowerPoint. I think I only have another 5 or 10 minutes max, so feel free to type in some more questions. Great. And we have a few questions here. Let's see. Great. And let's see, we do have a question about innovative specifically. So let me answer that question. With innovative, there is an extra cost for an API to access the patron's accounts. So I think the really good news here is Boopsie actually has a proprietary connector called Access ILS that doesn't require any APIs from your ILS providers. I know that they can charge like thousands of dollars for those APIs, and we think that's just silly. So we do have a connector already in place. You don't have to pay any extra money for that. And that's actually how, for example, New York Law School, how we're connecting it. And so it's not via an API, it's via our Access ILS, our proprietary connector. And we can talk through what that would look like. And I can also link up libraries that have the same ILS that you have, so that you can see exactly how that displays. And we do have a few customization options there as well. So also wanted to touch on the fact that we do provide real-time analytics. So we have a customer portal on our website. You just simply log in. You can view your metrics, usage metrics in real time. So your downloads, unique users, who's using what operating system, how many queries you've had, and you can specify your date range and also do exports so that you can compare those metrics. Really important in engaging success of the app. And also just keeping a pulse on what your students are looking for, looking at what channels are most important to them. For example, if they're really heavily using your LibGuides, okay, maybe you want to invest some more time there. So really great just to see how things are being used. We do have push notifications coming soon. It looks like the spacing got a little funky on this, so I'll share the actual PowerPoint version of this when I circulate it. And we're incorporating that into our analytics dashboard. So basically you just tap on notifications. It'll be a separate little item you can select, and you can schedule out notifications up to 2 weeks in advance. And you can see how that's working here. We do have an example on an app. We already have it working in a test environment. We're just working on building out this dashboard piece of the feature. And then the NELLCO Offer. Drum roll, what you all have been waiting for. So for NELLCO, we have waived the implementation fee. It's the only offer that we have out right now in the world where we're doing this, and that's absolutely true, 100% true. Pricing is based on full-time enrollment, so if you want to get pricing, just go ahead and shoot over your full-time enrollment number. You need to sign up by December 31st. The earlier you sign up, the sooner we can get started on implementation. So basically, all of the contracts will start on January 1st. However, if you express interest now, want to sign up, you can go ahead and sign up and we'll get started on the build now. So essentially, you can get about a month and a half free, and we can get started, and it'll be great. It would be great for a launch at the start of the spring semester, or really close to that anyways. And you can contact us for questions and to order. So you can contact the folks at NELLCO, so Tracy and Teresa, or you can contact me. We're all kind of in the loop on the offer, so we can answer questions, get you pricing, and we're just really excited about helping more law libraries go mobile. And we do have this offer out just one time a year, so really important to sign up. And I'm not sure how much longer we'll be able to waive that implementation fee for, but we wanted to do it just one more year for the law school libraries because we think it's really important and critical to have this type of solution out for your students. So I just wanted to thank everyone for attending today. I want to answer any questions that may be on your mind. Here is my email address. We make it really tough, but it's just megan@boopsie.com, and I am the, again, head of our sales team. So I will go ahead and answer any questions that anyone may have. I can unmute anyone if you want to kind of raise your hand. It looks like we have Teresa, you're raising your hand. I'm unmuting you. Teresa? Okay, maybe Teresa. If anyone wants to raise their hand, I can actually unmute their microphone. Otherwise, I'm going to just go through any questions that might be here. Oh, okay. Tracy, I'm going to unmute you right now. Give me 1 second here. There we go. All right, Tracy, you're unmuted. Hi, Tracy, are you there? I took you off of mute. I think you might have to unmute yourself as well. Okay, if anyone else has any questions or wants to raise their hands, I'm happy to field any questions. Okay. And it looks like there's just a little bit of an audio issue. Tracy just wanted to say thanks to everyone for attending. We're excited about this offer. We've been working together. This will be our second time having an offer out for all of the NELLCO member libraries. And we always have a blast just with all of our customers in this space, and we're just excited for all of the new product developments as well that we'll be making. So I'll stay online just for a second. It looks like we have another question about a SpringShare product, LibCal, to do a study room reservations. And yes, your assumption is correct that our agreement with SpringShare does allow them to make room reservations through the app as well. And we'll look through that user experience, and SpringShare is very flexible, and I'm sure you all have found them to be very awesome to work with, and we found the same. So any questions that we have there, we're happy to liaise with them. Great. And so everyone, you can contact Tracy or Teresa at NELLCO. They're chatting in. They love Boopsie. We love NELLCO. We're, again, just excited to work with more law libraries. And thanks, everyone, so much for attending. I think that kind of covers all of the questions that we have here today. I've done a lot of talking. It feels like at myself. But really great level of engagement from everyone. Thanks for all of your great questions. And I do look forward to kind of having a chat with you over the phone. It'd be great to have kind of a two-way conversation. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for attending. And again, simply reach out to Tracy or Teresa at NELLCO or myself just to start asking any questions, set up any consultation or demonstrations that you would like for your team, and then to also get pricing. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for joining.